Hey y'all, it's Akiria, aka AK, and today I will be talking about friendships and the things that I have learned. I have a list. And we'll cross it off as we go. So let's keep it cute, right? Okay, so first of all, define it for yourself. You need to know what friendships mean to you. That's something that I am still working on myself. I am literally in real time figuring out what it means for me with my friendships. And also, we need to know what it means to other people when they say friendship. I think a lot of times proximity and closeness get conflated. Sometimes we're at work and we start vibing with a coworker or two or whatever, and we go out for drinks or we hang out or we go to this concert together. We might even be in a group chat. We share work drama, office tea, a little bit of light stuff about what's going on in our life. And then we're like, oh, friend, we're friends. Not necessarily. And I think just going into it without really understanding what it is to you to be a friend to someone, or what it is for someone to be a friend to you and what that means to them, can have us looking real crazy when we are finding ourselves in a bind or in some deep, dark moments or tough situations, or even looking to share something special with our friends and that person is just not there. They're not picking it up. They're not engaging. They're not reciprocal with that. And we're going to talk about reciprocity later. But yeah, we can get very disappointed because we have confused the fact that we are often around each other and we communicate at the surface level for being in a true friendship. And we also need to know that, yes, sometimes people are just acquaintances. Sometimes you might have a close acquaintance, but that's not a friend. So yeah, think about that, about what friendship means to you. What defines a friend for you? And as I said, I'm still figuring that shit out. I'm still figuring it out, okay? So you are not alone if you're still thinking about, what is this? Outside of the memes, outside of the TikToks, outside of the office drama gossip and calling somebody to just vent real quick. What is a friend to you for real? All right, bet. Let me find my little marker. Ooh, my AirPod fell out. Here we go. We have talked about define it for yourself. Boom. All right. Next part is standards and expectations. Standards, okay. I have taken a course called Standards, Boundaries, and Expectations. And it was some very deep work that someone was facilitating. And up until that point, I didn't really realize that for friendships, you too need to have standards and expectations. And if you don't want to say need, it's very helpful and healthy to have standards and expectations for your friendships as well. We think about that with romantic relationships a lot. Sometimes we don't. Depends on where we at in our journey. But you get what I'm saying. I digress. We usually apply that to romantic relationships. But what about your friendships? What are your standards and expectations for your friendships? What are your boundaries for your friendships? We know, we talk about that. Ooh, they're crossing my boundaries. Oh, I gotta cut them off. But what are your standards and expectations? What do you want? That was a big lesson in that course that I took, and it really opened my eyes. And it also opened my eyes to the fact that you don't have to just fall into friendships. You can consciously choose your friendships. You can consciously set standards and expectations for your friendships, who you allow in your space, into your inner circle. How many tiers go to your circle? There's an inner circle, there's an outer, what does it look like for you? What are your standards and expectations for your friends? Is it shared values? Is it checking in with one another? Is it you've shown up for me in this way and I've shown up for you, so now you can come to my house? I'll loan you this money, different things. But even those are just, I guess, characteristics or actions that can come when you do actually know that you have a friend in another person. But what does it take to get there? What do you expect from your friends? Is it integrity? Is it loyalty? Is it honesty? Open, honest communication? That's a big one for me, because I cannot stand to be in a situation where I know there's a problem, but nobody's saying anything. I've been that person, and I've dealt with people who it's like that as well. How do we ever get anything solved? If if there's an issue, are you just sweeping it under the rug? Are you actually discussing it? Like, that's a standard that I do know that I have. We need to talk about this. We need to be honest with one another. And I also find that a lot of people are afraid of confrontation, even though confrontation doesn't have to be volatile and violent and hostile and it don't gotta be all that. Confrontation is confronting an issue. So I have a standard that my friends, I need y'all to be able to confront some shit if you're feeling uncomfortable, if I've stepped on your toes, or if you've stepped on mine and I make you uncomfortable, or you make me uncomfortable. I want to be able to talk about these things without it being this entire blow up, blow out. And also in my growth, holding myself to the standard of being able to have these uncomfortable discussions and feel uncomfortable or what have you in a friendship, and not just straight up cutting somebody off. Done. So yeah, standards and expectations. Please share with me, what are some of your standards and expectations for your friends? Where does it start? Where does it begin? Where does it end? What standard and expectations are you holding yourself to when you're showing up in your friendships? Well, you can cross that off. Woo woo. Standards, expectations. Reciprocity. Reciprocity, a huge factor in friendships, I've learned. We know about reciprocity. Like, if I'm calling you to vent, and then you start talking about yourself, and then all of a sudden I gotta go. I don't got the energy for this. I don't got the time. Anytime you call to talk to me, I don't have space to hold for you to just listen. That's not reciprocal. That is not reciprocal. And it's draining, right? Another idea that I have thought of and even experienced within friendships is the friends who are like, invite me anyway. Just invite me, think of me. They want to be thought of. They want to be considered. I think that's very fair. And I think it's important to consider your friends, right? In doing things, plans. I think on the reciprocity aspect is, if you're the person who wants to be cared for or thought of and considered, not cared for, thought of and considered, I think it's also equally as important to make the effort to go to these things or show up to these things that your friends invite you to. Because what I find ends up happening is, you're inviting me to these things. I'm like, please just think of me. I don't want to be left out. Think of me, even if I can't make it. And then I rarely make it. How does that make you feel? It might not be a big deal for some people because maybe it's not that deep. For me, it's that deep because I want to spend time with my friends. And I think my friends want to spend time with me too. And so I think it's important, as far as that goes, is that you are also putting in effort as the friend to share your time with these people, especially if you are wanting to be considered. And even if you're not that person that's like, if you're like, fine, I'm fine without an invite, whatever, like, it is what it is, blah, blah, blah. Just just sharing time with people and space and holding space for people is important in friendships. It's reciprocity. You give, you take, you give, you take, you commune, you come together and you do the things. And I think every friendship dynamic will have its own way of doing that. Like sometimes some friends are like you're talking every day. Some friends is like, okay, every other month or whatever we link it up, or we might not talk that much, but when we do, boom, we're in there. I just think it's important to have that understanding and to be able to reciprocate what that person needs for them to feel cared for and seen and acknowledged and considered, as well as receiving that back and it being an equal exchange. And those exchanges don't have to look like the same thing. I hear this a lot, like, oh, you know, I like to spend money on my friends and buy gifts for my friends, XYZ. And the other person, that just might not be how they show up, but the way that they do show up is just as valuable. It's just that you both are showing up and meeting each other there. And that all comes with communication, standards, expectations, and boundaries. What do you expect? What's your standard? And, you know, boundaries, of course. And also holding yourself to that, because it's very easy to hold other people in friendships to this level, but then you not be meeting it, right? So that's pretty much all I got today. I think I might make a part 2 about this, but thank you guys for watching. We're going to go ahead and cross off reciprocity. I'm not doing it. Thank you guys for listening. Have a great day, you lovely people, and I'll catch you in the next one.